So, hello, and welcome to another GloBUNTU Books Lunch. It is knowledge time, it's Africa time, it's identity time, it's young authors time at GloBUNTU Books. My name is Beatrice Achaleke. I am the serial author of the Africa for Smart Kids book series, publisher of GloBUNTU Books, and I am your host on this book launch. So today we are still in the house of the Chikosis. This house is full of young authors. They are all GloBUNTU Young Authors. And today we're launching the second GloBUNTU Young Author out of that house. And her name is Chimangatso Chikosi. She wrote a book with the title Homeschooling. What the heck is that? So, well, in times like this, you know the importance of homeschooling. We all want to know about homeschooling because it's the agenda of the day. And I am super excited to introduce you to Chimangi and her studio guest. Her family is here. Her studio guests are here, and sisters are here, and she is right here with us. Hello, Chimangi. How are you doing today? Chimangi, please unmute yourself. How are you doing, young author?
I'm good.
You're doing good. Okay, good. So on the other screen, I can see Chimangi's kid sister, Naleti. How are you doing, lady? Nana?
Unmute.
Hi.
Hi, Nana. Thank you for being here to support your sister. That's really nice. It's nice to have you here. And we have your dad just sitting just next to you, right? Hello, Daddy.
Hi. It's good to be here to witness this. I say it's historical.
This is historical. It's a legacy moment. Again, when we write and launch books, we create an indelible legacy. And having the family around this legacy, it's extremely important. So I am extremely excited to have you here. I see Chimangi's mom. She is on the other screen. Hello, Mom. How are you doing today?
Hello. We're doing great. We are very excited to be here today.
Okay, our second date, and I'm really looking forward to this book conversation, which topic is very timely, in times of the pandemic where everyone is locked down. So we'll be talking about homeschooling. And we have our studio guest. This is a friend of the family, Dr. Vuyu. Welcome to the studio. How are you, sir?
I'm doing quite okay, man. I'm very excited as well. This is very historical for these three in this family to be authors. And today is Chimangi's day. I'm happy.
So we are going to have a conversation around Chimangi. The essence of this book launch is for us to get to know the young author behind the book, to pick on her brains, see what she understands with her book and why she wrote that book and for whom she wrote it. So the conversation is going to be all around that. And now those of you who are joining us on social media, whether on YouTube or on Facebook, we greet you, we acknowledge you, we are happy to have you with us. Please feel free to join the conversation. You can always use the chat window to text to us. We will take your comments, we'll take your questions, and we will be happy to engage you in the conversation. So that said, I want us to go very quickly to our young author. Hey, young author, can you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Hello, I am Chimangatso, and I am a young author that wrote the book Homeschooling. What the heck is that?
How old are you, Chimangi?
I am 16 years old.
You're 16 years old. So you are a GloBUNTU Young Author. How does it feel? What does it feel like to be a GloBUNTU Young Author?
It feels very, very good to be a GloBUNTU Young Author and to know that my book will be there for a very, very long time.
You took time to write it, so you can be sure that it's going to be there for a very, very long time. That I can guarantee you. It shouldn't just be there. People should read it, right? People should read it. People should buy the book and they should read it. They should have it in their libraries, in schools, at home, in public schools, in organizations, in corporate, everywhere. That book should be in your space. So one more quick question. How did you come about writing a book? How did you come about? Oh, I can see Ali is there. The whole family is there to support you. You are a very lucky young author. Do you know that?
Yes.
You do. So how do you come about writing a book about homeschooling?
Well, I came about writing the book about homeschooling because we also went on online school, and I decided to write a book about homeschooling since my two sisters were homeschooled. So it was going to be easier to write about that topic because I was more familiar to it.
Nice. Why the title homeschooling? What the heck is that?
It's because even when I started writing the book, I didn't exactly know completely what homeschooling was, and I was pretty sure that most people didn't know a lot about the topic. So therefore, I posed the question to show the curiosity about homeschooling. And if you wanted to know more about it, you should read the book.
Oh, okay. I think the message is very clear. If you want to know more about what the book Homeschooling, What the Heck is That is about, you just get to get your copy of the book. And this book, you can get it straight from Chimangi's parents in Cape Town. You can go on their social media handles on Facebook. You can text them and join the, and order your copy. It's the perfect read for Christmas. It's a perfect read for Christmas. And those of you who are doubting as to what homeschooling is really about, what children think about homeschooling, and especially those children who have experiences with homeschooling. If you want to pick on their minds and know what to think about it, please get a copy of that book. Don't forget, you can also get it online, www.globuntubooks.com. Okay, so let's go to the studio. Let's go see Chimangi's dad. Dad, you are a proud father of 3 young authors. It's like having triplets in the family. How does that feel? What has changed in your family ever since you now have 3 young authors at home? Please unmute yourself.
Yes, this is very exciting moments. I've even changed my title. I used to introduce myself as the father of 3 daughters. And now I introduce myself as the father of 3 authors. So it's quite exciting. I think we hold the records in South Africa. I don't know.
That is very right. Remember, we now have 12 GloBUNTU Young Authors, and all the parents, that's their new title. Everywhere they go, and those of them who have won awards, they say, I am the parent of a GloBUNTU Young, award-winning GloBUNTU Young Author. So it's wear that title with pride. Wear it with pride. It's not everyone who has it. And when you have it, hey, wear it with pride. So let me go to Mom. I know you're tired. That you can't be too tired to sit in for the book launch of your daughter. So
no.
What does it feel like to be here again? We were here last week. We're here today. No, we were here on Saturday. We're here today, Wednesday, and we'll be here again on Saturday. So what does it feel like? What is on your mind right now?
It feels like I'm in a very beautiful, never-ending loop, when you're in a dream and you just keep going and keep going. So it's a wonderful feeling, and I cannot replace it with anything. I can't think of anything better than, because sometimes as parents we worry about our daughters, especially entering the adolescence, and somehow I just feel so reassured that it's gonna be okay. I'm not too worried about them going astray, because now they've got things to keep their time, positive things to keep their time, like writing and contributing to the bigger societal knowledge. So it makes me really, really happy as a mom, knowing that I don't have to worry about things like stay away from boys or stay in school. So I'm really excited. I just look forward to the future.
Okay, cool. Let's go to our studio guest, Dr. Vuyo. Your take on Chimangi's book, Homeschooling, What the Heck is That? May you kindly introduce yourself before we jump into, picking your mind on what you think about homeschooling and where the future of education after this pandemic. I mean, we've gone through so many changes. Nothing is the same again. And so where do you think the education is going to from now onward? Can you hear me, Dr. Buyu?
Hello?
Oh, okay. Seems like something is not right with his connection. While we're waiting for him, let me go quickly to Ali. Ali, our young author. So your book launch is done. You're here to support your sister. How are you feeling?
I'm so proud of her because I was watching her when she was busy writing the book, and she was working so hard so that the book could come out so great, and it has now come out, and I'm really, really proud of her.
Okay, cool. So how is your book doing? I mean, you launched your book last week. How is it doing so far? How is the sales?
I think it's doing actually really good.
Nice. That's what we want to hear. So people out there, I see some of the people online engaging. Please let me okay, I've got that sorted out. We see you. Greetings, everyone. Well done, Chimangazo, she says. It's Hola. I hope I'm pronouncing the names correctly. If not, please pardon me. Stembile, inbox me for reading or love spell. Okay, we're getting that. So let's go back to the studio. Is Dr. Vuyu here? It's like his network is not very stable.
He said his network was quite bad, so he couldn't hear the input.
Okay, so let's continue the conversation. Chimangi, for whom did you write your book?
I wrote the book for mainly students and parents.
So what did you want to tell them about? What is it that you wanted to tell them in your book?
I want them to tell them more about homeschooling, and also more about homeschooling, yes.
Okay. You know that there's so many people now who are thinking like, okay, it's lockdown, we're all into homeschooling. Should I keep my children at home? Should I send them to formal school? So if you were to advise those parents, what will you tell them?
I was going to say it depends on the child on whether or not they do better with homeschooling or better in formal schooling. And also the parents that want to homeschool their children should be committed to homeschooling their children, because then it's on the parents and the children to school them.
Okay.
So both the parent and the child should be fully committed into homeschooling.
Mm-hmm. So you have a first-hand experience about homeschooling, and you also have an experience with formal schooling. If you were to choose, which one will you choose? If you became a parent right now, and you wanted to choose a form of education, not that you should be a parent now, right? It's not yet time. Don't even think about it. But if you were to choose, what will you choose? Will you choose homeschooling or formal schooling?
I would choose formal schooling, because I prefer formal schooling, because then I can go see my friends and also go work with different people and do more teamwork things. Yes.
Okay, Ali, you are homeschooled. You and Nana are homeschooled. If your dad and your mom decided starting from January that they were going to send you back to formal school, what will you say?
I mean, I would try to convince them to let me stay in formal schooling because I'm gonna say homeschooling, because I have been doing homeschooling for so long, and it's a very, very different environmental change going from homeschooling to formal schooling. Because I remember when I went to from formal schooling to homeschooling, it was really, really different, and I was really, really scared. So especially since the fact like I'm in high school, and going from primary school to high school is hard enough. Now going from homeschooling primary school to
high school, formal schooling would be very, very hard, and I feel like my grades would suffer a lot, and I wouldn't be very happy about it. So I probably tried to convince them to let me stay in homeschooling.
Aha, that is very interesting. Nana, what will you choose if your dad said they wanted to send you back to school? What will you say?
I think I would say that I don't know Afrikaans, so please no. I don't know Afrikaans, please no.
That is very interesting. Now, to you two parents, you have 3 children there. One is saying she preferred to stay in formal school, and 2 are saying they would rather be in homeschooling. Now, what does that tell you? What does that do about homeschooling and formal schooling? And what does it tell you about the character of your children?
It tells me that they are all. Go for it, Terry.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if I give a little bit of context of where we're coming from, when we started homeschooling, we did share the idea of homeschooling to the 3 of them and try to convince them to do homeschooling. Chimangi did not like it, maybe because she was also excited about going to a private school and she had just got a scholarship, and Ali loved it. Narezi didn't know, she was too young for that, and then we tried to convince her. So, and then we allowed her to continue with the private with schooling. So I think it has got to do with the child. The child must love it. You, as parents, we need to sell it to them, and if they like it, then we do the program. But if they don't like it, we should not force them, because learning should happen when both the facilitator, the teacher, and the learner must be happy about it. So it should be, that's when education happens. When you are playing, when you are having fun, education should be about that. But just to go back again, we have been doing home education. We as a family, we decided that we're not going to leave education of our children in the hands of public schooling or government schooling or private schooling. We will contribute our own input. We'll put our own. We'll also, contribute towards their learning and make sure that they are grounded in African philosophy, African traditions, culture, language, because we believe that for them to know where they are going, they need to know where they are coming from. So they need to be grounded in African culture and history.
That's very powerful. Now to you, ma'am, I'm going to say some parents watching this may say, oh my God, how do they manage this? One child is going to formal school and she loves it. 2 others are following homeschooling. How do you manage that at home?
For me, it's a true reflection of how you treat children like humans, like almost like adults, that they have options, they have choices. And yes, there are times when, as a parent, you have to put your foot down and say, this is what's going to happen, whether the child likes it or not, because in the long run, you know that it's good for them. But there are many situations where it's okay to let the child choose. You are communicating 2 things. One, that they are loved no matter what choices they make, you support and love them. 2, that you acknowledge that they are humans with opinions and feelings, and you respect their feelings and their preferences. Obviously, if it's something that will hurt them, if you see there's a hole that they're going to jump into and hurt themselves, you grab them and you don't ask for their permission. But things like how they should, what they will dress, or where they go to school, whether they do maths or they do the arts, those things, I think that the kids should be allowed to make choices. So for having both, we're like a blended family. We have both homeschooling and formal schooling. And when I interact with the teachers at school, I'm very cognizant of the fact that there are things that there's a way things are done in formal school, and then there's way things are done at home. So it gives me a very open-mindedness in my approach. Well, even when I talk to other parents, I'm honest about saying it's not all roses and moonshine. There are times when it's really challenging to homeschool, and there are times when formal school is quite challenging. So you must be fully committed. I think Ali, one of the kids, they said it's commitment. So for us, we committed to both because we want to support them as their parents. We're just there to guide and support. We're not there to make their life decisions. So I think that it's quite an interesting thing to have both a schooling system running in the same house.
I think so too. I think so too. And you know, the most exciting thing again is that a person who is not homeschooling is the one writing about homeschool. Right? So,
Yeah, I think it was the best because then she stays objective.
yeah, I get it. So I'm coming to you, Chimangi. You are not homeschooled. You would rather be in a formal school, but you still have enough elements of homeschooling to be able to write a book about homeschooling. Is that right? What do you take from the homeschooling program of your sisters, of your family, that complements your formal schooling, your formal education?
Yes. What was the question?
What is it that is there anything that you gain from the homeschooling of your siblings that complement the education that you get from in a formal school?
Well, when I'm doing the homeschool with my sisters, I get more African-centered learning and information from here, and also I do things that you wouldn't normally do at the formal schooling. For instance, writing this book.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's very interesting. So, the principal of your school wrote a foreword to your book. Have you seen her?
Yes.
Have you spoken to her? So, what does she say to you when she now knows that you are a young author, and probably you're the first author in the whole school, the one and only author in the whole school?
She says that I remind her of why she became a teacher or joined the teaching profession in the first place, and that it's very, very inspirational to the other students.
The network is acting. The network is acting not very good now. Mm.
We can hear you clearly. Chimangi? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, you were showing the book. Tell them how they can buy the book and how much is it?
The book costs 140 Rand each, and you can order them by placing an order with either one of my parents. Through EFT.
Yes, you just send us a copy, rather a message, either on Facebook or WhatsApp. We've communicated all the numbers on Facebook. There's a page called Chikosi Authors, and if you could go in there and like the page Chikosi Authors, and we do share a lot of information there about whether the books have arrived, they've been printed, and how we can reach them, how they can reach you. We do prefer PEP because it's everywhere in the country, but other forms of postage also works if a person pays the delivery fee. Usually the delivery fee is 60 Rand, and yes, it's 60 Rand for the delivery fee, and the books are 140. So if it's one book, it's about 200 Rands. And for all 3 books, you get a whooping 450 Rand with free delivery included in it. So yeah, that's how you get the books. So go like our page right now so that you can stay ahead of the breaking news in case one of them writes another book, or if maybe mom and dad write a book. Dad, how does it feel to be the only person in the house who's not an author? Well, you and mom.
Now I feel I'm quite excited about it, and the fact that my kids managed to achieve what I have, what I've been looking forward to achieve in life. Because the main aim of teaching them, I always emphasize that I'm teaching them to become better than I am. So to me, I see it as a victory that my children are doing better than they've even entered territories where I want to be. So I'm excited. I'm very excited, and also challenged at the same time. That's why I almost working on my script to make sure that I finish.
Okay. Did you continue the conversation after something happened with my network? So did you continue the conversation? Where are you right now?
Now she asked me how I feel about our kids having published a book. They haven't beaten me on publishing, and I just answered that for me as a person who is more committed to home education, I'm excited and I really love it because I've been teaching them to become better than I am, and I wanted them to reach new heights. So for me, it's also empowering. I'm now writing more than I used to do. So I'm brushing on my script. Yeah. So this is why it's exciting, and hence we even opened a Facebook page called Shikosi Authors, which means watch the space, more books are coming.
Okay. So those of you who are joining us on Facebook, again, if you're on Facebook, on YouTube, you are watching GloBUNTU Books launch. Today we're launching the book of Chimangatso Chikosi. The title of her book is Homeschooling, What the Heck is That? And she is the third of the Chikosi's daughters, and all of them are young authors. So the conversation is on, so you're invited to join us. If you're online, join us. You can send us questions, you can send comments. We will see your comments if you are on the GloBUNTU Books page on Facebook. We are not taking comments on YouTube right now, but we are mostly on Facebook. So if you're there, please text us your comment. Now, let me go back to the home of the writers. So the Chikosis, where can someone find you? Anyone who wants to get the kids' books, how can they find you? Please give us details.
As a matter of fact, I had just shared that, but I'll repeat again. The books are 140 Rand each. If you are anywhere other than Cape Town, you add an extra 60 Rand for postage. Anywhere in the country, you can send us a text on Facebook, an inbox, or you can send my WhatsApp number, which is also on Facebook. If you do have contact with the dad, the father of the girls, you do reach out to him. So for now, they are directly sold from us. We are making means to have them available online, but I'll share the details as that deal is finalized. At the moment, I'm unable to share which platforms, but hint, hint is the biggest. Well, we also have them on GloBUNTU website. Yes, I forgot. We also have them on GloBUNTU website. So it's www.globuntubooks, right?
globuntubooks.com, and then please just click on the shop and you'll find all the books there.
Yes.
You find the Chikosi Girls books, but you also find all the other GloBUNTU Young Authors books on that website, and the Africa for Smart Kids book series. At the moment, we have a Christmas sales going on, so if you hurry up, you can get the best deals on that website. So let's continue with the conversation. Our young author, were you at school today, Chimangi?
Yes.
Okay, see, that's the life of the young author. You go to school, you come back, and you launch your book. That's cool. Ali, that is what it is. Chimangi, do you want to read us one page out of your book so we have an idea of what you wrote about? Just pick up one page and then read it out for us, please.
Okay. Page 4. You picked up this book because you're either curious about homeschooling or you just want an opinion on the subject. To be honest with you, even I have a first-hand experience of homeschooling from my own home. I had to do some additional research when writing this book. I did what most 21st century teenagers do today. I asked the internet. According to my research, homeschooling is used to refer to the education of children at home by their parents. This definition may be more curious, so I asked more questions. And guess what? The more questions I asked, the more I wanted to know about the joys and challenges of homeschooling. The thing that I know for sure is that homeschooling, there is no such thing as that we're done with the curriculum for this year. As we live in a world of infinite data, I know from my own experience that our brain forgets anything that we learn but do not apply or actively do. You may be wondering why retain knowledge if your brain is not going to need it. That's where homeschooling comes in. The knowledge you gain through learning is made practical.
So someone just said they read your book from cover to cover and found it very inspirational. Thank you for that testimony, Mabazo. Please send us more testimonies if you have read the books, whether it's Ali's book on being authentic, or it's Chimangi's book on homeschooling, or Nana's book on the kitchen adventures. Please share your testimonials on the Facebook pages. So, Chimangi, thank you for reading that page for us. I guess someone who's out there must be curious enough to know what comes before page 4 and what comes after page 4 in your book. Chimangi, how many pages altogether do you have in your book?
Chimangi, unmute yourself.
Oh yeah. About 23 pages.
Okay, so and I got a question for you on Facebook. Now that's the question. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
How does knowledge become practical? Can you share examples?
So you will use it. The theory that you're trying to learn, you would make it practical by like doing experiments on the subject that you're doing, or you will make something from it. For example, you will go to like a museum or something, or for science, you will do a science experiment on it, or yeah.
Oh, can I add a note on that point?
Yes,
also,
please go
by
ahead.
practical, we were learning in English. You learn how to like write essays, and sometimes you even have to write a book. In homeschooling, we made it practical by writing a book, and now you're at our book launch. So there, you have an example of making it practical.
So, Namzaba, I guess you got your answer. If you get into the house of the Chikosis, you must be ready to get 2 different sets of answers. You're getting a formal answer, and you're getting a homeschooling answer, and you're getting sisters who complement each other in every way. So I hope you got your answer. And if anyone is out there, you have another question, please, this is the time. You know, it's not every day that you get a chance to get this kind of answers from children, smart
Can I put them on the spot?
Sure. One moment, please. Ali is just too much. She says, okay. So, ma'am, go ahead, put anyone on the spot.
Oh, I was saying when we were driving from Limpopo the other December, the wheel needed to be changed. And the girls were asked to jack the car and change the wheel. And Chimangi can change the wheel. So instead of theorizing what the jack is and all the things, they just said, go down. And all the doors in this house, when they need replacing, they did involve them and they replace doors and change globes and all of that. So it's part of homeschooling. So he says they must never rely on someone else to help them. Like if there's a blockage somewhere, I'm not gonna call a plumber. I'm gonna get a plunger and sort it out. If it's something that can be sorted out, it's part of the philosophy in this house.
That is extremely interesting, teaching children practical things. And again, I want to say that you have girls at home. Daddy is the only man at home. You have girls at home. And being handy, they normally say, they say handyman, right? I never heard anyone say handy woman. They say handyman. So
yeah,
them to be able to do all those things, I think is the best way to go in life. Because again, what you're telling me is homeschooling is all about the education that you can use as you go. It's practical education. It's not about the theory that you learn. And I think, Chimangi, would you say you're extremely fortunate that you have the chance to have formal schooling and to have also that aspect of practical education at home?
Yes, I would say that I'm very lucky.
I think
you don't sound lucky.
Nana and Ali, will you say you're very lucky to have a sister who brings home an experience from formal schooling to complement your homeschooling education? Nana?
I think so.
What is it that you learn from your sister from the formal school when she comes back from school? What is it that she does differently that makes you be able to learn from her?
Homework.
Homework. Okay, Nana, while we have you in the spotlight, there is a question for you. Can you see the question there on the screen?
Can Nana share her experience and how it all went?
But not about your book, because
The
we're
TV.
launching your book next week.
Your own experience.
Hopefully homeschooling experience, but not the book experience because your book launch is still coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
About the time that Nana was on TV. No, I think she's.
Own experience.
No, we do that when we do her book launch. Nana's story is coming on Saturday. So I will say, Non-Zaba, please tune in on Saturday. Make sure you're in to listen to Nana because her book launch is on Saturday and you can ask her all the questions that you want to ask. Today, we're focusing on Chimangi and the sisters are contributing when it has to do with homeschooling. Okay. So, Chimangi, let's get back to, we wanted to ask Ali. Ali, what is it that you learned from your sister from formal school? Is there anything that you learned from her that make you envy her that she's attending formal school and you not?
No, most of the time when Chimangi's doing schoolwork, I mean, she's really passionate about it and she has such a great work ethic, but like her way of learning and doing schoolwork is very different from the way I like to learn and do schoolwork. Mine is more laid back and hers is very, very intense, like study, get back home, study, homework. So I most of the time when I see her do homework, I'm like, wow, she's so inspiring. I should work harder on my homework. But it's not like oh, wow, I think I would like to go back to school because of that one thing. That's so cool. No, it's not really like that.
Again, I think it's there's a question here. Thank you very much, Ali, for sharing that experience. I think it's very exciting. Those of you who are listening to us online, you have the unique opportunity to listen to kids in the same family who have these two different forms of education, and you can ask all the questions, and you can see how different they are. I mean, they each love what they do. I mean, they all love what they do, the homeschooler loves being homeschooled, and the former schooler loves going to school. So it's a very exciting conversation that we're having right now. And I see there is a question there. How long did it take for you to write your book, Chimangi?
1 month. Yeah, but another month, another half for editing the book. But essentially, it took me 1 month to write it.
That's correct. So, if someone is out there, Chimangi, who wants to write a book, a child, a teenager like you who wants to write a book and doesn't know what to do, what advice will you give her? And this question goes also to you, Ali. What advice will you give that person?
I would tell them to write whatever they're passionate about or whatever they know a lot about, and that writing is a good thing and you can never go wrong with writing. So just do it. You won't regret it.
Yes, Ali, you want to add something?
I mean, I would recommend that they, just like Chimangi said, write something that they're passionate about. But while they're writing, not to be editing. It's a piece of advice that my dad kept on giving me, but I didn't really fully understand it until I started writing the book. And I kept on trying to like edit my words so they sounded better. And then the story just wasn't coming out as properly. And I wasn't feeling that inspired anymore because I was like, ugh, it doesn't sound right. No, that don't sound right. That doesn't sound right. And then the story was taking a really long time to like come out and develop. And then I was getting less inspired. So write down your thoughts and write down your story and then edit it. I could definitely use my own advice, but yes, that's definitely a piece of advice that I'd like to give to anyone who wanted to write a book.
Okay. So for parents who you are home with your children and they're writing books, what did you learn from there, and what advice could you give to parents who have children at home who are probably maybe passionate about writing but but they don't know how to support their children? What advice will you give them? Let me start with you, Mom.
If they don't know where to start, I'd say first take some. I would say they must take their time to find out what their kid is into, but also to get a little extra help from people who have done it. In our case, I would never we probably wouldn't have been writing or have written so far if it wasn't the help of GloBUNTU Masterclass. The classes were very informative. We signed them up for the writing masterclass in during lockdown, even though we've always knew that they've got brilliant minds and they've got interesting thoughts. But had we not came across Beatrice and her program, it will probably taken years. Like Habi shared earlier that he's been trying to write for quite some time now, and they just came and whooshed in front of us and became authors because they got help. There's nothing shameful by getting a little help. In fact, it's a very smart way of doing things. If I had met Beatrice about 2 years ago, I probably would have written 5 books by now, because it's just, you get someone who's been through the path and they know all the pitfalls, and they hold you by the hand and say, this is how we're going to do it. So I'll say, if you have a child who's showing even a little inclination into writing, make sure that you bring out their talent by supporting them, even if it means signing them up for a master class, or even if it means you encourage them to write everything and take that whatever they write and submit it somewhere and have somebody look at it. So it's all about the supports and getting the right people to support you.
Okay. Does Daddy want to add anything there?
Oh yes. I wanted to also to contribute on what home education mean to us, and for us we use every opportunity to expose our children to anything that could inspire them, that could help them to foresee the future better. For example, We sign them for science center, where they go there. We go there and we learn about the science experiments. We also go to museums. Even when we are driving around, we look at the environment we want to observe, we discuss whatever we see. And for example, now, last year, we signed them for the sewing course, where they learned how to make clothes. And they also send a small one to learn robotics. So whenever there is an opportunity for learning, we do encourage the kids to learn. In other words, my advice even to parents is that we should not limit the learning of our children to schooling system only. We should take control of it, see whatever that can benefit our children, and bring it in. And we should also constantly question the education system, question what is being offered. Can this sustain us? As Dr. Amos Wilson once said, that the ultimate aim of education is survival of a people. So we ask ourselves, with this kind of education system, which is based on the industrial age, the 20th century, can it help us to survive now? We should be asking ourselves that question and try to supplement, because I, for one, am the beneficiary of the education which was presented to me by my mother. My mother didn't even finish primary schooling because of women were not allowed to be able to proceed to go higher on with their learning. But she's quite knowledgeable, and when it comes to education, the education is non-negotiable, and she always encourages us to learn from anybody, even from someone who's doing work. Learn something. There's so much we can learn.
Learning is lifelong, right? Learning
Yes.
is lifelong. Thank you for adding that. Now, if there's someone online who is thinking like, okay, they signed their children up for this, they signed them up for that, the question comes up immediately. Is homeschooling more expensive than formal schooling?
It depends. You can make it as expensive as you want. You can make it as affordable as you want. For example, there's a lot of activities that you can do without paying for other service providers, but there's certain things that we can't be able to do. For example, to teach them how to write we couldn't be able to do that. I couldn't be able to teach them robotics. I also want, we would say that the other time we send them to be exposed to doing artwork, beadwork. Some of these things we just want them to be exposed, and then we can continue from there by ourselves. And then, for example, the other course that they went for, which inspired Nana to love becoming a chef, we had a friend of ours who was running a workshop on how to cook. And from that course, all of them were inspired. They love cooking now. So sometimes you just want to expose them to something, but there's a whole lot of resources on the internet. And where institutions like GloBUNTU, they've got a lot of resources. So, and the libraries, there's a lot. You just need to look around, and also to network with other people who are doing homeschooling, and you will find information.
Thank you very much for that input. And yes, of course, at GloBUNTU Books, we have a lot of resources. We have books. We focus specifically on books that give readers a proud sense of their African identity, about history. Like today, I just uploaded. Did you guys know that we have 39 female presidents and prime ministers now in Africa? I mean, America is fighting with their first one. She can't even get into office yet. But between July and September, we had 2 additional female prime ministers in Africa. So that's the kind of knowledge that we focus on. We're working on flashcards. We're working on creating resources for homeschools, so that our idea is to make learning about Africa as easy and fun as playing a game of cards. So that's it. If you're interested, make sure to look up our website, www.globuntubooks.com. And we have master classes running for both kids and adults who want to write their stories and write their books. And we are coming close to the end of our book launch, but we still have a couple of minutes to go. And I think there is another question that came up. For universities, will you guys consider doing correspondence or going to the mainstream university way, considering that, go the mainstream university way, considering that they're doing homeschooling? I guess this question is for you parents.
Yes. As for whether they want to go to the university, yes, if they want to, they can go. But what we are preparing them is that whether they are equipped with university degree or whatever, or college degree or not, they should be able to live and be able to live very well. Because when we educate them, we go beyond the normal curriculum that we have. Like for example, the course that they have just done of learning how to write, they created a legacy. Now they are authors. They've got a status which is different from the rest of the people. So which sets them aside. It stands, give them it gives them an edge. And we do a lot of things. For example, now we do art, and we'll be doing, during this December, we'll be doing painting, learning to do artworks, producing artworks. And it's something that if they master that or they love that, some of them, they can even make it a career. What I'm saying is the notion of university being the only way to being able to earn a living, or we should, I think we need to free ourselves from that. That's industrial way or industrial age of thinking. And some of the careers, watch the space, they are going to die. Some of them should have been dead. And I'm even still puzzled to see university offering them. There's a whole lot of useless courses that are offered by certain institutions. I wouldn't even mention them, but unfortunately, most kids go there hoping that they'll get a future. Hence, we have a lot of people looking for jobs that doesn't exist.
Mm.
Oh, also, just to add 2 minutes, the business side of things that we instill in them is that when you have two hands and a brain, you can start just about any business. And when you instill that kind of thinking from a very young age, they won't be scared to start things, because as adults we are very scared of starting new things or leaving the comfort of your job with the guaranteed income every month and say, I'm going to start a business. For them, they've already started their own business even before becoming authors. Nana was making jewelry, Ali was a nail artist, and they've done a couple of other things, and now being an author is also a form of business, because you sell the books and you make some money. And you might not be a millionaire overnight, but the fact that you have some sort of income, it's something that is reassuring. So whether there's a university degree or not is besides the point. You will still be able to live off your brains and your abilities to make things.
While you're talking, I'm looking at the girls, how they're enjoying their book. The joy of being an author, it's evident on screen.
She can't put it down.
It makes me love what I do. When you see kids enjoying the product of their achievement, it really, really warms your heart. And again, just to pick on what you said, people out there, you're watching Chimangi's book. This book is on sale. It's the best read for Christmas. Make sure to get a copy. And when you invest in the children, something comes out. This is what I got from you, Dad. You send them to courses. Out of the courses, Nana has written a book. Nana has written a book, and it's a legacy that comes from that one, having sent them to there. Because sometimes when parents look at the investment that they have to put in, some of them are kind of scared. They say it's too expensive. But until you put in that investment, you will never be able to know what you're missing out. Now, becoming a young author opens a whole lot of doors. I mean, doors that they don't just get a competitive edge. They have a lot of new possibilities and opportunities. And again, the next program for young authors at GloBUNTU Books is grooming the young authors to become public speakers. You become a public speaker not just by going around with your book. No, we don't let you just go around with your book like some young authors do. You must have an agenda. You must have a program. You must have your speaker sheet. You become a professional because now you are a content expert. Okay, a content expert. So again, I'm very happy with you that you set up that Facebook page. Please, before you go in to set them out, we still need to design those programs so that when they're standing out, they have 2-3 topics that they're talking about, and we have prepared them. You don't want them to go outside and get frightened and fade. You want them to go out and quantum leap. And so just like we prepare them to become young authors, we prepare them to become public speakers after the book launch. And they have a program. So that's the next level of how we groom our young authors. So I'm looking forward to us embarking on that next step. Now, Chimangi, the three of you went to attended the GloBUNTU masterclass. Tell me, what is your experience from the GloBUNTU masterclass?
The GloBUNTU masterclass is a very interesting and fun course. I enjoyed the course. It helped me to structure the time management, to manage the time to write this book, so that I was able to finish it within a month, even though I was still doing 8 hours of school a day. And also, I really like the visualization exercises that we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also did your name affirmations, right? So what is can you give us your name affirmation and what that does to you, having a name affirmation?
My name affirmation is basically I took my name, and for every single letter of my name, I put an affirmation with it, so that whenever somebody says my name, they are reaffirming me.
Come on, give us your name affirmation, girl.
Chimangadzo.
No,
T is for talented.
Right. Say it right.
S is for success.
Say it right.
I am.
I am. Yes. Oh yeah. T is for I am successful. No, sorry. T is for I am talented. S is for I am successful. H is for I am headstrong. I for I am intelligent. M is for I am magnificent. A is for I am assertive. N is for I am neat. G is for I am graceful. A is for I am African. D is for I am diligent. Z is for I am zappy. And O is for I am omnipotent.
And that you are. That you are. Ali, can you give us your name affirmation? Just like that. I know you can do it.
Make it.
My name affirmation Azanya, which is my second name. A is for I am amazing. Z is for I am zappy. A is for I am assertive. N is for I am nice. I is for I am intelligent. And A is for I am African.
Nice. You must never forget your name affirmation. You must always have it. You can vary the affirmations as you go. Instead of saying amazing, you can say abounding, you can say abundant, you can say, just anything, any positive thing that comes into your mind. And that's what it is. So we are gradually coming to the end of the book launch. Is there anything that you would like to say to close, Mom? Your closing word?
In closing, I would just like to say it's all about showing that you love your kids by acting it out. It's not enough to say you love your kids, but you must show them by supporting them, by giving what you can. Obviously, you cannot give what you don't have. So if there are programs out there that will improve their lifestyle or add value to their life, by all means do it. If you think you are on the edge of whether to homeschool or to stay in school, find out from Chimangi's book. She shares some very valuable insights in her book about why they went to the homeschooling, what are the differences, and all her experiences. So I would really like you to get a copy for yourself so that you might even find answers if your kid can stay in school or you must try the homeschooling. And we're more than happy to share even what is not in the book. But first, find the answers in the book. If you don't get your answers, we are more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Dad, anything you want to add? We will end with our young author. Is there anything that the dad wants to add? Please unmute your mic.
I am so proud of my daughters, Chimangi for publishing her book, Homeschooling, and Ali for publishing also her book, and Narezi. So these days, we always get accolades. We always get people complimenting us for what they've done. We are so proud of it. And this is a challenge also to other parents, that if you invest in time and whatever resources you have in the development of your children, they will make you proud. And my motto has always been that if I just can't afford not to invest on the development of my children, because that will be very costly in the form of opportunities that are lost. And sadly, most of African kids are denied opportunities. They are denied their ability to be able to reach their full potential because their parents are not there in their life. So the challenge is, if we really want our kids to take care of the future and to be able to reach their full potential, we should be there, support them, and voila, we will give them wings. We need to give them wings. We want them to fly.
Thank you. And they are loving. They are flying extremely high. Nana, is there anything that you want to say to your parents or to your sisters, or about the book launch?
My affirmation, I'm happy.
You're happy? And
yes, I'm happy.
You're excited and looking forward to Saturday, right? You and I will have a long conversation.
We'll have to buy the book.
I just said,
that's a strong message. Ali, is there anything that you like to say to your parents or to say to your sisters, or just anything that you want to share with people who are still watching us?
Thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for allowing us to publish our book. I never would have done it myself. And Nana and Chimangi, I'm really, really proud of you. You guys are awesome, and your books are amazing, and I hope everybody else can see it the way that I do.
Okay. So, Chimangi, now let's come back to you. You have the last word. If you were to meet the president, the Minister of Education, what will you tell him?
If I was to meet the Minister of Education, I would add driving into the formal schooling, high school curriculum thing. And I would also go and relook at the curriculum for children in formal schooling. Yes. And the last request that I'd ask is if they could buy my book.
Okay, thank you. And if you were made the Minister of Education for 1 week, what are the 3 projects that you will implement? 3 priority projects that you will implement?
I would add driving into the schools, and I would also open a gardening club thing, like a place where people come together and grow like fynbos plants that are only here in South Africa. And I'll also open more fun educational centers like science centers or arts pop-up places.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that's powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. And what is next? Now that you've had your first book written and published, what are your next plans?
To write another book.
The bug has bitten.
Okay, thank you so very much for joining me in this book launch today. Chimangi, congratulations on your book. Congratulations on being the second young author launch in the house of the Chikozis. The family, I congratulate you. I commend you. I hope that you continue to be an inspiration for other parents. And I am extremely looking forward to Nana's book launch on Saturday. And we will be in the kitchen talking very much about kitchen adventures. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you so very much for taking the time. So those of you who are out there who have been contributing, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for seeing us and for joining us to celebrate our young authors. If you are interested in getting your kids into the masterclasses, you know where to go. www.globuntubooks.com. You want to get Chimangi's book, you want to get Ali's book, you want to get Nana's book, you can speak straight to the parents, or you can go again to our website, www.globuntubooks.com. And right now we have a Christmas sales going on. Don't forget to look in there. We have loads of resources for you. And up until then, my name is Beatrice Achaleke. I was your host. I will be your host again on Saturday, and I hope to host you in the masterclass. So may you have a wonderful evening and continue to be inspired and to be creative. See you next week, Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.